All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the holiday episode of Conservation Conversation. I'm very excited about today's show because we are going to talk about holiday savings, how you can save the planet and also save money being eco conscious and buying for that picky vegan or that picky eco person. Or if you are that picky vegan or that picky eco person, where you can shop pretty hassle free and spread the love. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we are. I'm very excited about today's show. The holidays are always the most amazing time of the year. But we always talk about revolution through routine and how what we buy can affect what companies will make. So, what we have today is an eco friendly guide to the holidays to help you out. Like I said, if you've got somebody that's picky, that's a vegan or an eco based, sustainable, conscious person, or you are that picky vegan / sustainable, eco conscious person, these are going to be great tips and a couple amazing facts that I did not realize. But even before we get into today's show, let's go ahead and start with one of my favorite parts, which is the quote. And I would like to bring this quote to John Lennon. He says, "Peace in your mind, peace on earth, peace at work, peace at home, peace in the world." And that is a sentiment we have in the holidays, but it's a sentiment we should have all year round. It goes back to kindness. We need to start treating each other with more kindness, empathy, and understanding, especially in a time that's very polarized. It's a beautiful time of the year for us to go ahead and get things back together. They've been too fragmented for too long, and the only way we're ever going to make a change is if we can unite. So the holidays are the perfect time for that. It's when everybody thinks about it. But a lot of other crazy things happen during the holidays, and one thing I was amazed to find out is there is 1 million tons of additional trash thrown away every week in the United States between Thanksgiving and New Year's. That is incredible. The US actually uses more electricity on the holiday lights than some countries use in a whole year. So this is the time. This is the time we shop the most. This is the time we consume the most. It's the time we throw out the most. It's the time we really can show companies where our heads are and what we can do. And it's a great time to start our revolution through routine. And like I said, spread the philosophy of conservation. But you don't really have to go too far to do it, and you don't really have to interfere too much with your traditional holiday plans. So the very first thing I wanted to talk about is something that a lot of us are familiar with, the Christmas tree. We go to friends' houses, we go to families' houses. There's always a beautiful Christmas tree up there. And it's really magical. It's very beautiful. The lights, the ambiance, it just really makes you feel relaxed. Now, if you're going to buy a Christmas tree, please buy a pesticide-free Christmas tree. Some growers use 40 different pesticides as well as chemical colorants. Also recycle. Now, when I grew up, we always had the trees that had the bulbs on them, like you see here in the picture. You can buy trees that have bulbs or potted trees to plant them after the holiday. Now, this is something that's not always available. If you're in Florida or you're in, warmer climates, you're not going to be able to go plant a pine tree or an evergreen afterwards. If you live in a more temperate climate, it's a great idea. When you get to those warmer climates, a lot of people will use plastic trees, and those are just as good because they tend to stay for a long time. I've seen friends pull out and dust off 20-year-old plastic trees. So although it's not ideal, it is a way that you can avoid it. And remember, when those pesticides are in your tree, they're going to go into the water base if it's a potted or if it's a bulb, and you're going to have to keep the tree alive. Remember, your animals will drink out of that water, so you're giving them pesticides, and you yourself are around pesticides because we all put things in the tree and touch it. So it's one of the times where we're most interactive. If you think about it, we are the most interactive with trees. So please be safe and be careful and try to avoid a pesticide-laced tree. Now, when we talk about trees, let's talk about Christmas lights. If you buy LED Christmas lights, you can save electricity and really reduce the overall cost and the overall resource usage. And LED Christmas lights are great. One of the reasons that I love them is when I was growing up, we'd have to get the Christmas lights out and you put a big, just make a long string out of them and then plug them in, and none of them worked. right? And then you'd have to go back and you'd have to use a bulb and you would have to go through every single thing until you found the one the bulb that was burned out, and then all of a sudden the strand would go on. There's two kinds of electrical circuits. One is called series, one's called parallel. Now a series is as it sounds, it goes from thing to thing to thing to thing, and if there is a break, it does not continue. Most of the older bulb lights were series, and that's why you had to go through and you had to pick out the bulbs. LED lights are parallel, which means parallel circuits, everything runs off one feeder and everything gets an equal amount of electricity in a simplified version. So if one bulb goes out, one LED bulb goes out, you don't have to go through all that, and you certainly don't have to go buy a bunch more bulbs, and you don't have to throw away the plastic strand and start over. So they'll last way, way longer. And again, they will really save you on electricity, which is a massive, massive key. As we just saw, the US will use more electricity than some countries use an entire year between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's one way that we can be a little kinder to the world around us and make a big difference in how we are using resources. It's a really great option. Now, this one really surprised me. Wrapping paper. I didn't know this, but wrapping paper is not recyclable because of the wax that's used on wrapping paper. So no matter what kind of wrapping paper you buy, it is going to not be recyclable. So think about all that additional plastic nobody thinks about. It's being thrown back into the landfills, being moved back into the water. So there's a couple ways around it. You know, when I was a kid, we used to take like, paper bags from the grocery store and wrap our school books with them, and then you could personalize them. A lot of my friends do that. They wrap gifts in, reused old papers, old paper bags, just anything you have laying around that you want to reuse. It's a great way. You can get very creative with it, and I've seen people do really cool things, and it's personalized. You don't always need the gifts to have just some genericized, Rudolph or genericized Santa to be a gift. Now, also, when we talk about holidays, I'm really talking a lot about Christmas here, but I was raised Jewish as well, and that holiday is Hanukkah. There's not too much you can do to really conserve more with Hanukkah because it's based on candles and a menorah. And actually, the concept of it is conservation. The idea is that they used one drop of oil and it lasted for 7 days. So, conservation is already part of that. You turn the lights off, you look at the menorah. So again, there's not too much we can do to really change. Hanukkah doesn't have that big of an impact on the sustainability of things. So now what I want to talk about is, and we're going to go now to stocking stuffers, because stocking stuffers are a great introduction if your friends are not sustainable or they're not vegan and you want to have them check it out. Or again, if you're shopping for somebody picky, these are definites. These things will be hits, guaranteed. One thing you can do is give straws, stainless steel or bamboo straws. These are both amazing options. I have a bamboo straw. It goes everywhere with me in my backpack. A lot of my friends like stainless steel straws. Now, an interesting side fact about stainless steel, if you're not aware, what makes it grade stainless steel, and that is surgery grade, which means that basically on metal, anytime there's like a little bit of an imperfection in the actual surface, germs can get in and hold on to it, and that's how things get spread. Now, on a stainless steel straw, there is no imperfections. It is perfect. It's surgical grade. You will not have germs by reusing this straw. Same thing with bamboo. Not to mention that bamboo is extremely sustainable, and in a lot of times it's grown and harvested for the purpose of being used in sustainable purposes. So bamboo is always a win-win for everybody. So, again, stainless steel straws or bamboo straws are great stocking stuffers, whether you are somebody that already uses them or you want to introduce somebody that maybe wouldn't buy them all the time, Now, another thing that happens during Christmas time is businesses look for deals. If you're going to have businesses and you still use business cards, check these out. These are cotton business cards. Now, cotton does have a few issues with its water usage and this and that, but overall, cotton is a sustainable crop. The people that work in cotton are well paid. It's generally a fair trade product. And I didn't even know they had these cotton business cards. So it's pretty cool. They also have wooden ones that are made out of sustainable wood as well. You know, wood is a very interesting thing because sometimes they use wood, you know, like IKEA or like Costco does for their products. But a lot of times the trees are grown in a sustainable fashion with a rotating basis inside of a pre-planned small area in order to create sustainable wood. So there are really good sections. If you Google sustainable wood cards, you'll find some really cool things there as well. So it's just another idea, you know. Now, one of my personal favorites is chocolate. As we've talked about this before, you can save the world by eating the right chocolate. And I stand by that. Now, this is one brand I really like, Endangered Species. A friend of mine actually sent me some Endangered Species chocolate a few weeks ago. And I never had it. It's delicious. But it's amazing because they use fair trade certified cacao sourced from West African farmers. And the West African farmers tend to be one of the most, one of the groups that is the most taken advantage of when it comes to cacao sourcing. So Fair Trade America is a fantastic thing. You can see it's non-GMO. It goes back to the people and it helps endangered species. And it's really cool when you open the wrapper, it tells you about different endangered species. Now, this Indianapolis, Indiana-based endangered species chocolate, it donates 10% of the net profits to support conservation efforts. So they have given out more than 1.3 million in the last 3 years. So again, you can save the world by eating chocolate. It's nobody else will probably tell you that. I stand by it. And I like dark chocolate myself. I'm vegan, so I don't like anything that has, dairy or milk in it. Even my coffee that I'm drinking right now is just straight coffee. So that is something that I think is great. Now, before we get into, I have some really great savings for you guys now. Now, we talked about savings now in savings for the earth. Okay, these are things you can buy that'll show companies that that's what you want out of the world. Now we're going to talk about savings for your pocket and savings for the earth. So one thing, as you guys know, I stand by is CBD. Now, a lot of people have said to me, CBD doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. I would say that perhaps you did not get a reputable CBD. CBD, there's a lot of CBD companies out there claiming to be CBD. How CBD works, in case you're not familiar, it's non-psychoactive, so it has no effect on your mind whatsoever. It is not marijuana, it's not cannabis. It's more of a hemp. And CBD is, what it does is it goes in, and you can think of it as a key. And inside of your body are endocannabinoids, which are receptors inside that actually secrete natural pain relief for your body. So inside of our bodies, we have this self-healing pain relief. And paracetamol mimics it. Aspirin mimics it. CBD activates it. So what happens is if you take an oil, you do some CBD, it'll go into your body and calm things down. This is something that I like to use, and my mom uses it. A lot of my friends use it. This is amazing. This is Preemptive, and I know that I've talked to you guys before about Preemptive. The reason I bring up Preemptive is if you go to Preemptive, and you can use my code ERIC30, and you get 30% off CBD. So it's Christmas savings, and people, it really helps people. I had radiation this year, and I used it to actually help bring my hair, not my hair, I don't have any hair, help bring my head back to normal standing. And the reason is CBD is not only good for the inside of your body, it's also good for the outside of your body. And this CBD cream is mixed with all natural oils. Let's see, it's actually organic shea butter, arnica, calendula, ginger, olive, organic French lavender, and jojoba. So it's already like an amazing organic mix. And one other thing I have to say about Preemptive, what I like about it is it comes from 100-year-old recipes from France, holistic recipes for salves. And my friend Paul has gone and learned and then become certified on how to blend CBD into that. So Preemptive's got a great mix of oils and topical. And like I said, everybody that I've recommended it to has found pain relief from it. It's not the same as an aspirin where suddenly you feel it taking over and you feel better. It's just, the pain just disappears. I didn't actually believe it would work. And then Paul said, "Hey, you got to try this." When I was on my first round of medicine was called Araveg, and I was in a lot of pain, and it actually got me through the hardest times. It's got me through my most recent treatments of Odomzo, and it's got me through my spot radiation. It has actually helped my skin heal itself. And if you're not familiar, spot radiation burns your skin to where it's like you have a really bad sunburn that lasts forever. It's itchy, it's problematic, but again, and I wanted to bring it up because it's the only CBD company I know works, and you get 30% off. So if you've got anybody that you know that it would help, give it a try, and you get 30% off. So it's really, there's no, you're not going to really lose there. Now, we have two more ways that you can save, and one of them, this is like a one-stop shop. This is called the Vegan Center. And this again is if you are shopping for a picky vegan, or you are a picky vegan and you want to share with everybody what you love. And they have home, they have food, they have jewelry, home and garden. Now, the only thing about the Vegan Center is some of their products use plastic. So I wrote to them and I asked them, "Do you guys use plastic?" And they said, we don't, but some of our vendors do. So when you are shopping at the Vegan Center, if plastic is a concern for you, as it is for me, you're going to want to check the products, and you can actually hit up customer support. They have a way that you can just click on and ask them questions, and they will help you to make sure that you're not going to buy anything that goes against your own ethics. So as you guys know, I love Hawaiian shirts, and check this out. Here's a jackfruit Hawaiian shirt. How much do I love that? That is made for me. And as you can see, there's animal liberation, happy vegan. There's a bunch of different types of things. So if you are shopping, like I said, for a vegan, you can't go wrong. You can literally pick anything off this website, and it's a unique gift that they're going to really like. I mean, vegans have sort of started their own economy and their own product lines because a lot of times, we don't have things made for us. So we have to go to specialty places. So I'm a huge fan of the Vegan Center, and I just had to share it with you guys. I don't have any special codes for you, and I don't have any savings there. So it just is as it is. I don't know if they're going to have any holiday sales coming up. But again, it's something that you just can't go wrong. And if you're shopping for the picky vegan, you get them a jackfruit, a Hawaiian shirt, and they'll probably love it. If they're like me, my Hawaiian shirts are my dress-up outfits. It's what I go out to dinner with. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how you guys are with that, but I am a huge fan. The reason I like Hawaiian shirts, people always ask me, why do you wear them? The main reason is the philosophy that's incorporated in the clothing. I like comfortable clothing. And Hawaiian shirts have a philosophy that they don't have a top button. A true Hawaiian shirt doesn't. The reason is that if you button up that top button, it's too uptight. So they don't have top buttons. And it's supposed to be a bit more of a mellow way. And again, it comes back to kindness, and it comes back to peace and the way that you approach things. Some people are very aggressive in life, and some people have a more empathetic approach to everything around them. Hawaiian shirts are the literal embodiment in clothing of that philosophy. So that's why I love them. All right, so now the next one I'm real excited to talk to you guys about is Kind Humans. Now, Kind Humans is, as you can see, I've got on one of their shirts right now, and I'm a big fan. Kindness 2020. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. So, they're incredible. Now, the reason I was really excited to connect with them and start working with them, and I do have a 10% off code. You'll find it here on the video. So just click on that link, use Eric 10 and you get 10% off. It helps because I know that specialty products tend to be more expensive. Kind Humans is trying to defeat that idea. And what they are is like an Amazon for sustainable products and sustainable companies. The very first thing I noticed when they sent me my shirts was it comes in compostable packaging. Now, this is amazing. This plastic bag, is fully compostable. You can just throw it right into your garden. No harm to the earth. The boxes are biodegradable. Now, biodegradable is never the top choice for us in sustainable world because biodegradable means that it'll break down over a certain period of time under certain circumstances. It needs certain enzymes to break down the product. So, it's not the best, but it's still there. And the other thing that's great about them is they use a water-based tape. So it is also compostable. And so, you really can't go wrong with the way that they're putting it together. And I like that they've thought of everything from the beginning forward. The company is a 1% for the planet. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they give back 1% of everything. It's climate neutral, the way that they ship. And then they offset it with, with products that will not go into the landfills or the water. It's a certified B Corp. And if you're not familiar with B Corps, a B Corp is a corporation. It's the same as a regular corporation. But what they do is they, first of all, make a commitment to the community to not try to destroy it. And I know that sounds very vague. They have a certain set of bylaws that they agree to that are all uniform to make a B Corp. A great example is this. Coca-Cola is not a B Corp. Coca-Cola makes single-use plastic bottles. We had a huge petition and asked them to stop, and they were kind of like, we're not interested. We're going to keep making them. So they don't listen to anything anybody has to say. They're there for profit only. Now, compare that with a company like Patagonia. Now, Patagonia, they're a company that sells clothing, but they don't even want you to buy their clothes. If you take your old clothes into Patagonia, they will fix them for free. Patagonia takes some of the money they have. It's not all about profit. They take some of their money. They hire seamstresses. They hire people that need work. They hire people that know how to do this. And that's an art form, And they'll actually just for free, they will sew up and fix your old clothes so you do not have to buy new clothes. Because that in itself is a burden to the environment. So it's pretty cool. So that's the difference anyway between a regular corporation and a B Corp. So you can think of it that way. The regular corporation is only about profit and the B Corp is about finding ways to create sustainability through very innovative methods and also to reinvest back into the people and the communities in which they take from or use from. So Kind Humans, again, these guys are great. They also have a 3%. This is what really drew me to them, quite honestly. They have this 3% give back. And what that means is that when you buy something, you can shop. And when you're at checkout, you can choose a cause you want to support. And they will give 3% of that cause, 3% of your purchase amount to the cause you choose. So again, you're giving back to sustainable companies, you're giving back to small NGOs, you're giving back to causes. So you can shop, and it's Revolution Through Routine all in one website. You can really make a change. And what the other thing that's great about Kind Humans is that they have really good standards that they use, and these are all very important to me. Again, everyone has ethics that they shop by, but mine are, they need to be sustainable and eco-friendly. No harmful ingredients, ethically made, which means people get paid a proper wage to make them. Slave labor is not used for any of these. Cruelty-free is a big one. You'd be amazed at how often animals are exploited and tested upon for things that seem harmless, but are actually very torturous for the animals. So I try to only buy cruelty-free products. And they are transparent. I have to admit, I've talked to Kind Humans about a bunch of different topics. They're always upfront with what's happening. And that give back promise is just cool because again, you can really help with that. Now and I wanted to show you all too, you can choose what your idea is. So for example, this is the main menu. if it depends what's important to you. There's collaborations. There are B Corporation brands. There is minority owned brands. There's female owned brands, plastic free essentials, and most importantly, gifts for under 20 bucks, which again, we're talking about saving money, but also saving the planet at the same time. Holiday savings in its entirety. And this is the coolest thing I found on the website. I didn't know this existed. Recycled crayons. Crayons are a major issue. They don't go away. They're not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. But could you imagine a childhood without them? That would be nuts. So this is really cool. If you got kids, crazy crayons, recycled crayons, it's a brand new thing. My last name's Crown. When I was a kid, I had a hard time saying crayon, and I thought it was crown. So anyway, that was always a thing for me. But really, what would life be? That would be life without color. If you're a kid and you don't have crayons, and you can buy them recycled, and when you're done, kind humans will take them back and recycle them into more crayons. And as a matter of fact, a lot of school teachers are doing programs where they're sending the crayons back to be recycled after use. When you get that little nub and it's just left and you can't really, maybe I still use crayons sometimes. They're fun. But again, recycled crayons, super cool. Now, let's just say you're one of the people. Now, this was actually an idea that was given by my friend Jason Staples, and he put it on the post when we started talking about this. And I think this is a fantastic idea. You don't have to buy anything. You can donate money in somebody's name. A lot of my friends do this, and you see it on Facebook all the time. People say, instead of buying me something for my birthday, donate to this cause. Now, I've put together a small collection of groups that I know are worth investing in. Now, the reason I chose these groups, I'm sorry, but Sea Shepherd does not need your donations. There are a lot, Greenpeace does not really need your donations. These are massive corporations with people pulling bank on payroll, and very little of the money goes back to the world. And I think that that's kind of a scam, and it's something that happens a lot in conservation. They're like, pay us more and then we'll go save the world. Yeah, I don't know. They're multi-million-dollar organizations, and they haven't done as much as they could have so far. So these companies, and I want to go over a few of them, are excellent, and they're all in the field, and they're fighting for you. They're fighting for the future. They're fighting for the unborn generations. One is, of course, one of my absolute favorites, Fight for Zero. We've had our friend Stell Bailey on the show multiple times. What happened with Stell was that her entire family ended up getting cancer when they moved into one particular place in Florida, and they found that these environmental cancers were local. And so what she did was started a public database of people that had cancer and other chronic illnesses, and everybody could submit their information. And then she was able to determine what cancer clusters were happening. Then she was able to get enough recognition that she was able to go to state legislators and educate them. Not influence them, but educate them and say, please listen to me about what's happening. And a lot of legislative change has come through Stell's work and through all the people at Fight for Zero. We've had Stell on the show quite a bit, but there's a lot of people involved in that organization. And I can tell you they don't make money doing this. They are devoted. And a lot of them have cancer. A lot of them have family members with cancer. And very much like myself, they are focused on fighting it. It doesn't need to happen. There's a lot of cancers that we do not have to deal with. I don't want anybody to go through what I've been through. And what I've been through is mild compared to what other people with cancer has been through. And, you just see the pediatric cancer rates continue to rise. And Fight for Zero is out there fighting for zero. They want zero chronic illness, zero pollution, zero waste. They fight for it's beautiful, and they do fight for it, and they fight for it actively all the time. So your dollars will not be wasted if you give them to Fight for Zero. Sheldrick Wildlife Trust was also recommended by my friend Jason Staples. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust is an amazing group. They work internationally. to prevent all sorts of catastrophic loss and endangered species work. It is a group that is vetted and is worth giving money to. They're a little bigger than a lot of these other groups on here, but they're good. Shark Allies, run by my friend Stephanie Brendel, and my friend Wilson McCourtney was also on the show. And Shark Allies were the people that were able to get that shark fin ban in Florida. They also, Stephanie's fights to make people aware of how sharks are being used. She was on Shark Tank, took Mark Cuban shark diving. She just, and she's actually a very quiet person who just loves to be around sharks. She's just a shark diver, but she knows that she can use what she does to help other people care about sharks and make a change for sharks. And if you're not familiar with sharks, they just put out a very interesting article about how about 500,000 of them will be killed for the COVID vaccines. And this is for the use of squalene. Now, squalene is an oil that they extract from the shark. It's in a lot of cosmetics. So when you're buying cosmetics, Shark Allies always asks, please look and see if your products have squalene. And there's two types of squalene. It's very confusing. One comes from olive oil, and that is really good. And all the vegan companies will do that and talk about that. But you got to be careful that a lot of regular makeup products have squalene, and it's killing sharks. It's a very silent killer, but it does happen. Shark Allies also did a documentary on shark fin soup, and they advocate to stop the sale of that. So they're wonderful. Next one is Marine Conservation Cambodia. I got an opportunity to go out and spend some time with Marine Conservation Cambodia. They are amazing. They are on a small island in Cambodia, and they have created a sanctuary for seahorses. And I'll tell you, it sounds like it would be very peaceful, but it's not. Trawlers come through, they collect everything. What they do is in Cambodia, they have electric trawling. So it's not even your regular destructive trawling. It's trawling with say a chain drawn through the outsides of the net, and it's electrified through car battery, something else, and it kills everything that it comes in contact with, and also everything it's near, because it electrifies the bottom of the ocean. Now, out there, the ocean is about 5 meters, about 5 meters deep, maybe like 15 to 20 feet at the most. So the trawlers don't have to go very far. And what happens is the seahorses are a byproduct of them trawling for crab and fish and other things. So Marine Conservation Cambodia, they've set up a sanctuary with the government. They're the topic of a new documentary coming out called Current Sea, Current SEA. Amazing documentary. And they really have their passion in there. And I saw people down there surviving on basically nothing. I mean, it's 12 to 15 people on an island that you can walk the length of the island in 10 minutes. It's a very small island called Koh Set. But they've turned it into a sanctuary. Now, I had the opportunity to go out with some crabbers overnight. And, trawlers come through and sink their ships all the time. So these guys have also invented a beautiful way to create a fish aggregation device. But what they've done is actually made a way to build reefs that will give fish safe places and homes, help repopulate the area. But they've done it in such a clever way that it actually will destroy trawler nets. So for my friends in Florida, for a while, people were buying plastic reefs and throwing them in the water. Terrible idea. Plastic is not good for the water, no matter how you think about it. I know that everybody had a good intention, but it was a terrible idea, because the moment plastic gets chipped, it becomes a microplastic. And we've talked about this before, biomagnification. But the moment you have a microplastic, algae eats it, the fish eats it, another fish eats it, the birds eat it. They estimate that people eat approximately 1 credit card worth of plastic a week. And not intentionally, none of us eat plastic. So microplastics are a massive danger and poison to us and the environment. Please do not put plastic in the water. Go to Conservation Cambodia's website, and you'll learn how they were able to combat illegal fishing and save fish all at the same time. Now, the other thing about seahorses is, for one, they're very valuable, but they're also endangered. And one of the big problems is the use in Chinese medicine. Excuse me. When I was with the crabbers, they would accidentally pull up seahorses. I mean, for me, it was all horrible because I don't want to see any animal taken. Crabs, to me, crabs and fish are the same. The same. They have the same life mana as people, and they should not be used. But these are very small villages. These are small artisanal fishermen that just feed their basic villages for survival. And these guys make $5 maybe a day, and we were out in the water for 12 hours. And so they make $5 to $10 a day for 12 hours of really hard work that I've never really seen matched anywhere else. But the problem is, they get the seahorses, and what they would do is take rubber bands and create nooses and hang the seahorses while they're alive on the side of the crabbing boat to dry them, because they make $10 a day, but they can sell one seahorse for $15 to vendors, to Vietnamese, Chinese medicine. And you got to remember, Chinese medicine is not in China, it's everywhere. It's in Vietnam, it's in Cambodia, it's in America, it's everywhere. So it's not a Chinese issue, and it's not an Asian issue, but seahorses are endangered because they are used in that way. So again, if you can help out Marine Conservation Cambodia, I'm telling you, I've been there. I have seen these people are selfless, and they are very inspirational. I've never quite met a group like that in my life. And oh, hey, look at that one, conservation conversation. Yes, I normally don't really advertise for myself, but I do need your help. This year coming up, we have a couple campaigns. I do a mix, I have a film coming out in the spring that we'll talk more about as it gets a little closer. But what I try to do is make films that can help raise money for causes. It's about bringing topics. It's not about making a bunch of money on movies. And believe me, in conservation documentaries, there's not a lot of money anyway. But I'm going to be doing a lot of campaigns that are not done for films. And I want people to come join me. But I need to raise money to buy some more gear, tactical gear, to help us out in the field to be as effective as possible. Now, if you donate $50 or more, you'll have first dibs on being able to come out on these journeys, and they will be around the world next year. So I don't want to talk too much about them, but we will be in Nicaragua working to help save Oliver Ridley turtles. We'll be back in the Amazon and Peru, helping out with the pink dolphins that are now endangered. We're going to be doing a few more direct action campaigns. And if you like the show, the show is something that I've been doing because it's been COVID. We've been in lockdown. I'm used to being in the field, but I am entirely self-funded. I'm not an NGO, and any help that you can offer, it would really mean a lot to me, and it would go directly to getting gear and getting the campaigns in order to help the animals. So if you guys know me, I have like 4 t-shirts and, I don't really I don't spend money on that kind of stuff. I'd rather be in the field assisting and helping in some way. Excuse me. If you do want to donate, you can go to my website, ericecrown.com, and you will find a donation page there. It's through PayPal, and I appreciate anything. Also, if you happen to have tactical gear, please contact me, send me an email, hit me up on the website, hit me up on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Let me know, and I would love that. I have a few sponsors that are coming in to help us in the field as well, with some radar things and EPIRBs and a few other things. But we still need a little bit of gear, and it's going to take a little bit of money to get some of these projects going, and it would mean a lot to me. So if you want and you believe in what I'm doing and you believe in my work, please feel free to donate. But again, it doesn't matter. Just vet the NGO that you're going to give money to. And again, please don't give money. I mean, Sea Shepherd, Greenpeace, those people have board of directors that bank over 100 grand a year. It's not helping the animals. I mean, they're great organizations, but they are self-funded, they're self-reliant. Change comes from local groups that have a heart, that fight from the ground up. So, and there's lots of them and lots of them. And anyway, but those are just a few that I know personally, and I can vouch for and say that these are people that don't care what they eat at night, but they care how many animals they save every day. And their hearts are in it. So, and I think that goes back to our John Lennon quote, by using the holidays to show people what we want out of retailers, out of the world, and out of causes, it can bring peace in your mind, peace on earth, peace at work, peace at home, and peace in the world. So I think that this is a really, this is the time of the year. Again, holiday savings, save money. I've got some of the codes below. Please feel free to use them. If you do shop at Kind Humans, I do get 10% of whatever the purchase is. So you can also help fund the upcoming project shopping through Kind Humans. But the most important thing is the codes below, more than anything, are meant to give you savings. I don't get any money from Preemptive. I'm just sharing it because it made a big difference in my life. And I hope it can make a big difference in yours, because we want to come out of the holidays. This is our time. This is the revolution through routines, revolution time to start the revolution. If you have not started to shop sustainably, now is the time. Show the retailers that you demand more sustainable products, because we're going to spend the most amount of money that we do all year in this next 2 months. We know there's Black Friday. We know there's Cyber Monday. We know there's Giving Tuesday. There are a bunch of ways and places that you can show the world what's important to you and where your money goes. And, I also use an app called Boycott. Again, I don't get anything from them, but use that anytime you go shopping, just to shop according to your own ethics. And that's where we have to make a big change in the world. They used to throw on us and say, here's what you want. And advertising worked because we were kind of simpletons back in the day. We've learned so much. We can control our own destiny. We can tell them what we want. I always say corporations, the problem is we protest them, but they don't listen. They don't know how to listen to us. It's not their fault. Their job is to make money for their board of directors and their stocks. And that's their job. And we can't get mad at them for that. But we do have to understand that unless we can bring them onto our side, they're going to continue to destroy the world with things like single-use plastics and just things we don't need. We can tell them, we can bring them into our fold and say, we'll give you money. We just want recyclable things. We want biodegradable things. We want compostable things. And they will respond. We have so much power. You guys have a lot of power, each individual person. The way you spend your money, the way you live your life, the conversations you have with other people can change the world. I'm a firm believer in it. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. And again, I welcome any suggestions. Please tell us down here how you have an eco holiday. There's got to be a lot more ideas for eco holidays that we can talk about in the comments as well. And I would love to hear more suggestions and more ideas, because we are all one big encyclopedia of knowledge. We can learn from each other. That's why it's important that it's our world and we need to talk about it. And even if you're talking to somebody that's on the other side of the political spectrum from you, that's even better, because between the two of you, you'll find something in between that'll work for all philosophies, because we all want the same thing, which is a healthy world, healthy children, healthy family, and a clean future, access to clean water. They're just the basics. They're literally the basics. And it's all we're asking for, but we don't have it right now. We have to fight for it. So fight for it with your dollar. Remember, you have the power. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We did have, hopefully you can use some of these holiday saving tips and tricks and some of these websites. Again, if you're shopping for that picky vegan or that picky eco slash sustainable person, or you're like me, you are that picky vegan, that picky eco sustainable person. I hope this helped out. So anyway, guys, have a great time, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say about the holiday savings and other ways that you think we can save things as well. So remember, it's our world. Let's talk about it.